Howdy folks, and welcome to the Nature Photography Show. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about frustration. So forgive me for whispering. There are a few people around, so I'm trying to respect their privacy and their enjoyment of the scene as well. So I want to talk a little bit about frustration. So I have been planning this trip for quite some time. It's 2 weeks in the Grand Teton National Park. Last week was absolutely gorgeous. We had nothing in the air, or the sky, or anything like that at all. And over the last few days, a lot of smoke has moved in from Canada. So thanks for that, Canada. And it has obscured the landscape considerably. There's a lot of places that I wanted to photograph that I'm not going to really be able to now because it is so thick that you just can't even see the mountains in some instances. But I wanted to talk about the frustration part because you have this trip, this vacation planned for so long, and you get here and things start dwindling, and it's not giving you what you thought you would get. And why that's important is because frustration, it can do two things. It can rob you of your joy of what you're doing, or it can cause you to be more creative. So in this instance, I had to find places closer to the mountain range than I would have expected. And so I went exploring yesterday with my wife and son, and we found this beautiful road. We took it up close to the mountains, and I found what I hope to be a really good composition yesterday, and I came back for sunrise this morning. And it's a composition that I would not have found if I hadn't been frustrated with the mountains. And rather than going back to the Airbnb we're staying and complaining in frustration, I decided to go exploring and try to find a way to make it work. And I think I found that. I think this could be one of my favorite compositions. So as the light begins to come on, I want to talk about the composition that I found. I've got this really, really nice rock right here. It looks like mostly quartz. And there is a piece of sagebrush that's growing on the outside of it. And the sagebrush itself is very interesting as well. And then beyond that, I'll have a line of pine trees. And then I don't think you can see it in the video, but there's a big mountain up behind it as well. And we even have some clouds moving in, which is really nice to add to the scene. What I'm concerned with this composition is that on the left-hand side, up above the mountains, it's kind of open and it doesn't really balance the scene. If I can get some clouds to come in and get those lit up as well as the mountain range, then I think it'll balance the scene really well. If not, then I'm going to have to rely on the placement of the rock and the sagebrush and the placement of the mountain peak, which will be on the other side of that to help balance the scene. The light is beginning to show. Looks like we have maybe a few clouds to the east to prevent some of the light, but not very thick clouds. So I'm very hopeful that this will turn out to be a good composition. And if it is, you'll get to see it at the end of the video. If it isn't, you may never even see this video. But honestly, I just felt like I needed to make it this morning because of the frustration, because I was almost bordering on getting angry yesterday because of the smoke and everything in the area preventing me from doing what I wanted to do. But that's a very poor way of dealing with frustration. For it to make you angry or to steal your joy. I would much rather it make me be creative, to go for the not obvious photos, and to make myself explore the places that I go for better compositions or for different compositions. And this one, I think because we're so close to the mountains, the smoke is not going to be a huge factor, maybe a little bit, but that I think can be compensated for when I'm finishing the image. So if you find yourself planning a trip and things start going wrong, don't let the frustration take the fun out of it. Find a way to make it work and just have fun with your camera. That's what this is about, is enjoying nature, having fun, making something that's compelling to you at the very least, and perhaps to your audience as well. All right, so I've changed my image composition up. I felt that the one that I had before just seemed a little weighted to one side because of the sky that was in it. And I'm going to take this image that I'm working on right now. It's got another boulder in the front, and then it opens up, and so you have a real foreground, middle ground, background, and that middle ground and background lead all the way up to the mountain. And I think it balances the scene out because on the right hand side I also have a large pine tree. So I'm going to put both images at the end of this video, and you can let me know which one you like, and if I was right that the first one seems to be overweighted to one side or the other. And you know, I started this video out talking about frustration and that it can steal the joy of photography. It can make you angry. But this is a lesson for me as much as anyone else. Don't let it do that. Use that frustration to be more creative. Use the frustration to go and do things that you wouldn't normally do, and to get out of that mindset that you had when you started the day. It can be great. So don't let that frustration kill everything. All right, I'm going to leave this short video as I always do, which is grab your camera, get off the couch, escape, explore, and create, even if there's smoke from Canada.